Welcome to this explainer. It happens literally all the time. We move to a new place, close out our utility accounts, and we completely forget about that security deposit we put down months or even years ago. Well, today, we are going to decode the exact process of recovering your forgotten money here in the state of Texas. Seriously, are you sitting on unclaimed money without even knowing it? Discover step-by-step how to retrieve your unclaimed utility deposit refunds in Texas. Millions of people are just walking away from their cash simply because they don't know the system. So we're going to break down the exact steps you need to locate and reclaim what is rightfully yours. So here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at unclaimed Texas utility deposits, finding your unclaimed money, the step-by-step claim process, overcoming common claim challenges, frequently asked questions, and finally, our conclusion and next steps.
All right, Section 1. Unclaimed Texas utility deposits, the massive state vault.
When you set up electricity, water, or gas here in Texas, you usually have to drop a security deposit, right? Well, when you cancel that service and forget to leave a forwarding address, that refund check bounces right back. But the company doesn't get to just keep it. Check out this number. Texas is currently sitting on over $9 billion in unclaimed property. That's billion with a B. It includes countless forgotten utility deposits, overpayments, and credit balances. And since 1962, the Comptroller's Office has successfully returned more than $4 billion to its rightful owners. That's a massive success rate, and it just proves this system actually works if you know how to navigate it.
So how does your money actually get from the utility company to the government? It's a legal mechanism called escheatment. Under the Texas Property Code, a utility deposit has a dormancy period of just 1 year. That means if your utility provider loses contact with you and 1 whole year passes without any activity, they are legally required to hand those funds over to the state. It sounds intense, but it's actually a fantastic consumer protection law. It's literally designed to keep your money safe from corporate hands when contact gets lost.
Moving right along to Section 2. Finding your unclaimed money, state versus local databases.
Okay, so where is your money actually hiding? Here's the tricky part. It's not all kept in one giant vault. There's a jurisdictional split you need to know about. If your abandoned deposit was over $100, the utility company must escheat those funds to the state, specifically the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. You'll want to search for those at claimittexas.gov. But if your deposit was $100 or less and it was held by a municipal utility, it often stays right at the local level. In that case, you need to check specific city or county websites, like the city of Fort Worth or Commerce, for example, because they publish their own separate unclaimed property lists.
Which brings us to Section 3, Step-by-Step Claim Process, Securing Your Refund.
Now that we know where the money lives, let's look at the exact actionable guide to getting it back. It's basically a simple 3-step procedure. First, query the database. And pro tip here, don't just search your current name. You've got to search maiden names, common misspellings, and literally every single Texas address you've ever lived at. Second, complete the claim form. You can usually generate this right there on the state or local portal. And third, submit your documentation. You're going to need a government-issued photo ID and proof of association. So something like an old utility bill, a bank statement, or a tax return that proves you lived at the address linked to that deposit.
And keep this vital concept in mind. The state doesn't actually keep your money. They are merely acting as a permanent custodian. They're just holding it safely in trust, indefinitely, until you step forward with the right paperwork to unlock it.
Now let's look at Section 4, Overcoming Common Claim Challenges, Navigating Friction.
Of course, we know not every claim is as easy as filling out a quick online form. What if you're claiming on behalf of a deceased relative? Well, the state needs to be absolutely certain the money is going to the rightful heir. To avoid any friction, here's your exact checklist. You're going to need their death certificate, proof of their social security number, and legal estate documents like a probated will and the order admitting to probate. Having all of this ready before you hit submit will honestly save you months of frustrating back and forth.
Now, what if your old utility provider completely went out of business? It actually happens occasionally in the deregulated Texas energy market. In these rare bankrupt cases, your deposit might not go to the state at all. Instead, it gets held in a federal registry as federal unclaimed funds. To get this cash back, you'd have to submit a formal petition, an application for payment of unclaimed funds, directly to the corresponding U.S. district or bankruptcy court, like the Southern District of Texas, for example.
All right, on to Section 5, Frequently Asked Questions, Timelines and Deadlines. This is probably the single biggest question people ask. Is there a deadline to claim my utility deposit in Texas? The answer is a resounding no. Because the state acts as a perpetual custodian, there is absolutely zero statute of limitations. So whether that deposit was left behind 2 years ago or 20 years ago, you can claim your property at any time. No rush, but also, why wait?
So how long does the process actually take once you file? Well, it really depends on the complexity. Simple cash claims for your own old utility account usually resolve in about 90 to 150 days. But if you're dealing with those complex estate or business claims we talked about, that can take 6 to 12 months just because of the rigorous documentation reviews. The real key here is patience and making sure you provide exactly what the portal asks for upfront. Countless Texans who submit their old utility bills along with their initial application find their checks waiting in the mailbox in just a matter of weeks. So yeah, taking that extra step right at the start definitely pays off.
Finally, Section 6, Conclusion and Next Steps. Take action today.
So what's your game plan after watching this explainer? It's super simple. First, jump on to claimittexas.gov immediately. It's totally free and literally takes 2 minutes. Second, if you know you had a smaller municipal deposit under $100, go check that specific city's finance website. Third, cast a really wide net. Search all your name variations and every old address. And lastly, get your documentation ready to go. Dig out that old tax return or bill that proves you actually lived at that prior address.
Before we wrap up, I do need to share this important disclaimer. This video provides general information and is not legal or financial advice. Please consult with a professional for specific advice tailored to your situation.
We've seen exactly how a shipment works, where the funds go and the precise steps you need to take to unlock them. So I'll leave you with this thought. With over $9 billion waiting in Texas, how much of it has your name on it? Go run that search, find your hidden treasure, and take back what is rightfully yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy hunting.